up? What up? What up? It's your man, DJ Caveman. We back for another spotlight on a mom. Uh, this week, or this spotlight, is a super special spotlight. The first one was my mom, so that one was super dope. And this one, I got my fiance, the not so, aka the not so silent producer of the Saturday Conversation podcast. Uh, she's my number one. She's my side piece and my main piece. You know, is Nadine Simmons on the spotlight on the mom today. What's up, babe?
Hi.
So your dynamic is a little different. You're a teacher and a mom. So you have all the kids, kids that are yours and kids that are not yours, but do the folks the benefit and give them a little brief introduction to yourself.
Okay, so I have two children, Jalen, who is 20 and goes to college, currently living back at home because his classes are still virtual. And then we have little Miss Julia, and she is in the sixth grade, and I teach second grade
Nice.
virtually this year.
Virtually this year. So what do you think is from a from a from a teacher perspective as a parent, and seeing as like a lot of us had kids that were at home uh, learning, like what kind of challenges did that have for you as a stay-at-home teacher, and then also having to like help your own kids work through the online learning process? Like what was that like for you?
Well, fortunately, I mean, Jalen and Jalea are just such wonderful, good, independent learners. So I didn't have to help them a whole lot in their studies, just making sure, like, oh, you have this project or this assignment is done, checking in with teachers, making sure that they were on task, making sure that they were logging in. Probably the most important thing that really helped us out and early on that I had to learn and adapt to was setting up a schedule. Like, you can't be in your pajamas all day long and logging in at 10 o'clock. We're still going to abide by our same schedule, routine, wake up, breakfast, get somewhat dressed, leggings and a t-shirt or whatever. But and that just helped stay on a schedule and helped them academically too, and hopefully somewhat like mentally dealing with this and not being able to go out and go back to school for so long.
So your kids are there's a huge age gap difference between Jalen's in college, kind of doing his own thing, and Jalea is in middle school. So how's that dynamic from a mom's perspective? When you had one child for so long, and then bam, now you got another kid. So like, how's that dynamic? How do they get along? And do you do anything differently, you think, that makes it a success? Or like, what's the biggest challenge for having two children that are such a far distance apart year wise?
First, I want to say, like with Jalen, he was the first for 8 years. It was just him and I um, for so long. And having Jalea, she is totally different from like male female perspective, what kind of learner, what they like to do, and their interests are. So I try to just foster what expose them to something and see if they're into it or not. And if they're not, then okay, we can move on, and maybe you're into this, maybe you're into that. But kind of following with the same footsteps that I did Jalen, like let's do age appropriate things. If you're into it, you're into it. If not, like around this age, and having Jalen as that model for Jalea, she was more self-guided, like, oh, my brother's into Hot Wheels, I want to be into Hot Wheels, like at a younger age. Or oh, he's in robotics, now I want to be into robotics. Or oh, Jalen was into this, into music. So she kind of just naturally kind of followed in his footsteps, but then also was like, this isn't for me. I want to go over here and do that. As far as like activities, like I try to do things that they would both be able to do, like age, like we both go to the zoo, and Jalen is just so good about like tagging along. I know it might not have been like his absolute thing, but that's what you do. Like I kind of try to make it like as a family thing. And, we do things together as a family, and that comes first. And then also having extended family members too, where I could split my time and like, okay, no, this is just like a Jalea and mommy thing, or this is just a me and Jalen thing. Um, so I tried to give them time for us together, and then also time that we have individually with them.
All right. So now we're going to do a quick little rapid fire, this or that. So we're going to start with my favorite right now is applesauce or fresh fruit.
For myself or for the kids?
For the kids, this is about your, like, from a mom perspective. Is it about applesauce life or is it about fresh fruit life?
Applesauce.
Yeah, see, team applesauce. This is why we getting married, because you like applesauce and I like applesauce, and that's what we need to have a
And you can
successful
always, you
relationship.
can store it and always have it on hand. Like fresh fruit, like those bananas might go bad, and might not be getting eaten as quickly, but applesauce, you always have that on deck.
Are you team whoopings or are you team timeouts?
I'm like team softy pants. um, More of a timeout.
Hot dogs or pizza?
Pizza.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is why we're good together. So as a mom, you've been a mom, you're 20 years now, at least. And so what would you say is your favorite part of being a mom?
My favorite part of being a mom is just seeing their accomplishments, um, and what their capabilities and abilities are. They might go into something not having the greatest confidence, or I don't know how this is going to turn out. And then through their work and time and effort, that whatever the end product is, just seeing what they accomplished and created and did on their own.
Word. And what advice, if any, would you have for like the newer mom, uh, or the younger mom, that you would give based on like the things you've learned coming up?
And it's continually, every day I'm still learning, and was like, oh, if I could go back, I would do this differently, or I would do that differently. One, you can read as many books as you want, um and going into motherhood, it just kind of does come naturally. um Go with your gut, go with your intuition. And I truly and honestly believe that um letting your children be who they are. Like, don't go into it like they're going to be a football player and this is what they're going to do, or they have to be really good at this. Because as like even I struggle with it as an adult, living up to others people's expectations, and like, oh, this was the religion that you were brought up in, or this is what you should have, like the values placed on school, or this is the profession that you should have gone in. And then being an adult and struggling like, oh, this was something innate in you and inside you doesn't feel right. So I think having and letting the children choose their own path. You can guide them, support them through, offer options, expose them to different opportunities, but they're little people, and they each child is their own individual. Let them be that.
Word. I mean, it's all good advice, and so hopefully, if you're a young mom or a new mom or an expectant mom, you get a chance to take a look at this and learn something. Um, do you feel like, and this is the hard question, right? Do you feel like you're tougher on your children academically because you're a teacher? Like, do you have like a higher expectation?
I don't think so. Um, I think my expectation is I don't expect all A's or fours or whatever the grading system is. You try your best and we'll figure it out. I'm okay. Like,
I want
okay, if
all A pluses. That's what we want, all A pluses in this household. Uh, and lastly, before we get out of here, this is a two-part question. What's the one thing that your mom used to say to you or do when you were growing up and you were like, I'm never gonna be like that with my kids, and then you found yourself doing or saying that same phrase?
so my mom was like Miss Softy Pants too. So she would get on, I also have a sister, like avoiding chores at all costs. Like it was dishes, we would switch off nightly with dishes, and then bathrooms and cleaning the room, and we would just not do it. And then like as a kid watching my mother like clean the whole house, come on, come and help me, come and help me. And I was like, nope, when I have kids, like you're doing it, you're doing the dishes, you're doing this, you're gonna help out, you have your chore schedule, and that doesn't happen. I'm like, please, can you go do the dishes? And then you know how it goes.
I do know how it goes. And do you have any type of like funny or embarrassing stories that you want to share about your kids real quick before we get out of here?
Um,
What's your favorite funny story?
hmm, um, Jalen. I went into the fridge and he was little, like maybe like 2 or 3 years old. And I don't know if I was going in the fridge to get like butter, or I just noticed at the corner of my eye, um, there was teeth marks in the butter. And I was like, what happened here? And yeah, he just wanted to eat like a stick of butter and then put it back. Like nobody would notice. Um,
That's fucking hilarious.
what else? For Jalea, I don't know.
You don't have to have one for both, you know. But I do want to thank you for coming on. Fun fact: we're in the same house right now. I'm in the man cave, aka the studio, and Nadine's right up above me, actually. And that's the beauty of technology. People, um, we can both be in the same space and have you know these types of conversations. And but thank you for coming on and sharing. And we appreciate you as a mom and an educator. And I appreciate you for helping me, soften a little bit when it comes to how I like to handle children. I've definitely gotten a little bit of that softness, especially working and being the bonus dad to a young lady, and I think that's key. Lady, small girls are different than guy kids, um, and so we appreciate you today on Spotlight on a Mom, Ms. Nadine Simmons.
Thank you.